John chapter 3, verse 1. So there was this Pharisee dude named Nicodemus. He was like a big shot ruler among the Jewish peeps. So this guy came up to Jesus at night and was like, "Hey, Rabbi, we know you're legit. Spiritually, you can't even enter God's kingdom. No joke, it's the real deal. It's like when you're born into this world, yeah, you become all about human stuff and earthly desires. But when you're reborn spiritually, it's all about that spiritual vibe, you know? You must be a teacher sent by God because nobody can pull off these mind-blowing miracles unless God's got their back. God didn't send his son to trash the world, but to save it through him. But whoever stays true and authentic embraces transparency, so that their actions may be revealed as those aligned with God's guidance." So they went up to John and said, "Hey, Rabbi, that dude you were talking about, the one you were vouching for? Well, guess what? He's over at the other side of the River Jordan, baptizing people left and right, and everyone is flocking to him." John was like, "Yo, peep this. You can't get anything unless it's given to you from heaven. Instead, God's anger will stay on them. Y'all can totally vouch for me when I straight up said, I ain't the Messiah, but I'm just here to pave the way for him. The guy who has the girl as his partner is the groom, but the buddy of the groom who's standing and listening to him is super stoked because of the groom's voice. That's when I feel complete happiness." So Jesus and his squad rolled into Judea and decided to chill there for a while, and you know what? He got into the whole baptism thing too. So John was doing some baptizing over at Anan, close to Salem, because there was a ton of water there. People showed up and got baptized too, but John hadn't gotten locked up yet. If you trust him, you won't get judged. But if you don't trust him, you're already in a tough spot because you have entrusted in the name of God as one and only Son. The person who comes from above is on a whole other level. The one who comes from the earth is all about earthly things and talks about earthly stuff. But the one who comes from heaven, they're above everyone and everything. And yo, whatever he saw and heard, he's straight up testifying. But man, ain't nobody talking his word for it. If you're vibing with his testimony, then you're straight up confirming that God is legit. The person God sent speaks exactly what God says. God doesn't hold back when giving him the Spirit. And here's the deal. The problem is that back in the day, light totally entered the scene, you know? But peeps were all about the darkness, because their actions were just straight up wicked, bro. Jesus was like, "Listen up, dude. I am 100% serious when I tell you this. If you do and go through a total transformation and start fresh, you won't even get a glimpse of God's kingdom. For real, I'm telling you straight up. We're talking about what we really know and giving our first-hand account, but you're not accepting our testimony. If I spill some basic facts that happen right here on Earth and you still do into vibe with it, how are you going to grasp the bigger cosmic stuff if I drop that knowledge on you?" Nicodemus is like, "Yo, Jesus, how can a dude get born again once he's old and stuff? Can he hop back into his mom's womb and pop out again?" "Yo," Jesus said, seriously, I'm telling you, unless you're born both physically, water birth style, don't freak out when I tell you you've got to go through a rebirth. Again, or from above, the wind goes wherever it wants. And you hear the sound it makes, but you can't really figure out where it's coming from or where it's going. That's how it is with everyone who's born from the Spirit." Nicodemus was like, "Wait, how is any of this even possible?" Jesus was like, "Seriously, are you supposed to be this knowledgeable leader in Israel, and you don't even know this stuff? No one has ever gone up to heaven, except the dude who came down from heaven, you know, the Son of Man who's chilling up there in heaven. And remember how Moses was holding up that snake in the desert? Well, in the same way, the Son of Man has to be, raised up too. So, anyone who totally believes in him won't die or anything, but will have eternal life, you know? God loved the world so much that he sent his one and only Son, so that those who trust in him will not be destroyed, but will have never-ending life. Anyone who does wrong hates the truth and avoids it because they don't want their actions to be exposed, or revealed. So there was this argument that went down between a few of John's crew and the Jews about the whole purification thing. He got to level up, but I got to chill. The dad totally adores the son and has handed over everything to him, all of it. Anyone who puts their faith in the Son will have a life that never ends. But those who do unbelieve in the Son, woe, and experience life,